Good evening and welcome back to Cruising Off Duty. Well, we are back doing catamaran reviews. This time we're coming from the Annapolis Sailboat Show, where if you saw the last episode, we did a guided tour of the Balance 526. And that boat is named Perfectly Balanced because it is a balance between cruising comfort and true performance. We love this boat and I gave it 2 thumbs up at the end of that episode. It's made of top quality materials, epoxy with e-glass and carbon fiber in structural areas, keeping it nice and light and racy. Those hulls are sleek and yet not so sleek that it's not livable. Inside, there is tons of cabinetry. They've found every square inch and used it to the best of its ability to make it a true live-aboard catamaran that also performs really well. So, we loved it, but is it a little bit outside of our price range? Probably a little bit. And then we went, it's the next size down here, the Balance 482, and unfortunately it wasn't. So I saw the Balance 442, which I've never been on before, was here, and I'm thinking, is this going to be too small? Because to be quite honest, for a full-time live-aboard cat that you plan to do around the world, circumnavigation, crossing oceans, being out there for maybe weeks on end, I thought the lowest size I would be comfortable doing it is 45 feet. And the Balance 442, which I'm about to show you, is just under that lower threshold at 44.2 feet. Now, I've done 2 transatlantics on 50-foot catamarans, and at times the waves out there are large, and I was always glad I was on a 50-foot catamaran. I always thought afterwards, man, if I was on a 44-foot, because I've done a bunch of reviews on 44-foot cats, those waves would have seemed even bigger. The longer your water line, the more you can handle larger waves without feeling like you're getting tossed around like a cork on the ocean. So, our lower line was 45, but I went into this boat thinking, can't hurt to look, and man was I impressed with how they use the space. Now you gotta remember too, this is under our lower threshold, and it's also a performance cat. Because you can get a lagoon or something that's quite large interior for the length, and it feels bigger than it really seems to be on paper. But this is a performance cat, which means the hulls are very narrow. So I thought for sure, I'm not gonna like this boat for a live-aboard option. If I'd known I would like it as much as I did, I probably would have tried to organize a guided tour, but Phil Berman, who is the founder of Balance and the designer of the 526, had already moved on to other clients and I didn't want to bother him. So I went around and I filmed it, just so you know, it's just me filming it. I'll do some voiceovers to say what I thought. Partway through, a representative of Balance sees us filming and he comes over and answers some questions for us, so I'll put that in there too. But this is not the full guided tour that you'll see on some of my other reviews, but just suffice it to say, I really like this boat, and I guarantee you, this is probably a boat that I can afford. Now, the first thing I do before I even get on the boat is I check out the lines. Does this look like a performance cat or not? And sure enough, you've got dagger boards, just like the 526. And look at the way the bow is shaped. It is definitely got that racy performance look to it. So I'm like, yeah, pretty cool. I love the 526. This boat's just smaller, so let's go check it out inside. Also, another thing I noticed from looking at it from the side is how much more straight up and down the front salon windows are, which is something they probably did to increase the interior volume. You now have a shorter boat, but you want to have the same headspace and interior volume, so they've changed it slightly from the 526, which is a little more sloped. The first thing I noticed looking at the back transom of the boat is the really sturdy davits that are sitting on the back. Those things look like it can handle a lot. And then the back transom, super wide, with a really sturdy looking ladder with actual handholds to pull yourself out of the water, which is perfect if you're a scuba diver trying to carry those heavy tanks up and out of the water. Now we're going to see in a second, we're going to see that Versa Helm, but for now we're just going to pan. And yes, I've slowed this down because I was actually walking through this boat way too fast. The seating back here for a 44-foot boat is very impressive. Plenty of room for entertaining, dining, whatnot. Now we're coming here into the galley / salon, obviously more indoor seating. Most of these boats, you can see that table can drop down and there's cushions to go on top, so you can make this a day bed. And I'm going to pan around and just show you, there's a nav station on the left and a galley on the right. A very nice U-shaped galley that will make you feel secure even in some bouncy seas. And a nice sink with the drying racks at the front and the back for putting your dishes to dry. And you can see the glass door recessed into the wall that can be wide open for entertaining indoor, outdoor, or closed in colder and clement weather. Now we're getting to the highlight of the Balance. This is the Versa Helm. So you've got a lower helm position with chart plotters and all your instruments, and then that wheel, which is now in the up position, can come down to that spot or stay up where it is, and you can come up all the way to the top for things like changing sails, using the winches and whatnot. There are 3 electric winches up here, and as you can see, all the lines are led back to this upper helm position, which means you can easily single-hand this boat, including being able to reef your mainsail from this position. So there's no, hey, can you give me a hand with this, or the winch on the other side of the boat is the one that handles this one job. Nope, they're all here, easy for single handing, which is great for a couple when one of the members is definitely going to have to sleep while the other one continues to sail. Of course, you have a duplicate chart plotter up here for the upper helm position. And we're about to show you the oh so important solar panels. I believe it's 4 400-watt panels that come standard, and you're going to need them or want them because everything on these boats are now electric. You get a large lithium-ion bank of batteries, and then your stove is electric, your microwave, of course, is electric, your oven is electric, even the barbecue on the back is electric. There's no more propane, which is awesome. Now, these solar panels are also important to note because they're glass panels that are built up off the deck to get airflow underneath to keep them cool and efficient. And glass panels have a much longer lifespan than those soft walk-on panels that you see on a lot of catamarans nowadays. Maybe 30 years versus the walk-on ones maybe 5 to 8 maybe, and then you're going to need to replace them. So longevity, keep that in mind. And the next thing you're going to see is a full down bimini cover. I might even opt to put solar there instead because I don't think I'd use this, but you can fold it up on those sunny days when you go on to get some shade, and when you don't need it, you fold it back down against the thing. But my suggestion if you want to sit in the shade while you helm your boat is you would sit at the lower position, close that little sliding door above you, and now you're perfectly in the shade. As you can see, love all the seating. You could probably have a party of like 15 people on this 44-foot boat, which is not a huge boat by normal standards, but this thing just makes use of every space. Back into the salon, and oh, I'm just loving this table, obviously, as I point to it. I found out that was an owner's order. That's not the standard table, but very cool. And then there's this beautiful 360-degree view from the salon. Pretty much you can look through every part of this boat and see in every direction. And I have to stress, these windows are actually real tempered glass, not Lexan or plastic or anything that's going to fade or haze or crack or go yellow or shrink and lose their seal. So that is something to keep in mind. Oh, and there's my lovely wife. She's enjoying the U-shaped galley. So yeah, she's impressed too. It's hard to tell in slow motion, but she is. And as we panned around, you saw that with electric stovetop, that's an electric oven. On the right, there were what looks like 4 fridges, but you can make it 2 fridges, 2 freezers. You can actually get one that's one of those, change it from fridge to freezer depending on what you want. And then a quick pan of the nav station with the VHF radio and some other instruments. And one more look out the windows. Now we'll go down and check out the cabins. And again, I just keep getting impressed every time I see it. And a thwartship bed on a 44-foot catamaran. That is crazy to me. Crazy. 44-foot performance cat, and you can actually get 3 sides of your bed. Ooh, storage. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Walk-in storage, access from above, a beautiful man in that mirror, hatches for airflow. Oh, there's Janice checking out the other side. We're divide and conquer. That's what we're up to, divide and conquer. And as with the 526, you can see all the cabinet space along the sides. Obviously, the halls are a little narrower than the 526, so 2 people passing in the hall is a bit of a challenge. But yeah, this is the owner's side, so this is the big walk-in shower. Clearly not as big as the 526, but very ample with seating. I love to be able to sit and shower, scrub my legs, do a proper job. Anyways, really nice without it being gargantuanly huge. So very impressive head with large size shower on the owner's side. Now we're going to cross back over to the guest side where there's 2 cabins, and you can see those 4 fridges I was talking about and a nice little coffee bar area there, which is nice. Now I didn't know what to expect on the guest side because I know you're going to stick 2 cabins in this one hall, but I turned the corner and what is this? Interesting. Looks like couches maybe. Is it an office? What is it? I'm not sure. I love the big back window. It's so bright and airy in here. Lots of hatches for airflow. I'm just panning around, kind of wondering what this room's about. And then the agent for balance explains it to us.
I'll just quickly show you how it works.
Okay.
Let me come and sit here.
Yep.
You stand there.
Okay.
Okay, the holder, you can go there. So if you want it in the office format, you do this.
Oh, very
and then you sit there with your little laptop and you do your work.
Oh, it's very nice.
You've got a printer, you've got all your files, and you actually...
And it just has a little day bed for me to read in.
It gets even bigger now, I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can do it, yeah, so you can do a little day bed. Then when you want to sleep, you fold this all up and you just remove this backrest, and then this whole bed
I see.
pulls out to here.
So when those cushions are gone, you can pull it out.
Yes, yeah. So I just want to do it now, but yeah. So you basically take this off,
Yeah.
And this whole bed
And then you
slides
throw the
up.
cushions
Wow.
on top.
And then
Nice.
this mattress that just folds over, and you've got a.
I like that.
That's quite
That's
a clever,
really cool.
quite a clever little idea.
Yeah,
I
nice,
know.
nice sight lines too. Like you,
That's a nice cabinetry as well.
oh yeah, and the owner side there's tons too.
Big windows.
Yeah. And this is a 44.
44, yeah.
Feels bigger than a
It's-
44, doesn't it? Yeah.
I like this office idea.
And a little workshop.
Yeah, it's what he wanted.
So as you can see, when you order one of these boats, you can really customize what each room's use is. You can make it an office, you can make it a pantry, a storage, or just another normal bedroom. But that was a very cool idea. This is coming to the other cabin. Now I think you're sharing one shower facility head on this side of the boat. I do not believe there's another one. So you come forward and, oh, another athwartship bed. I love it. Janice really loves it. She said, no way am I having a bed you can only climb in from the foot. So on a 44-foot boat, I wasn't expecting it. I just wasn't expecting it. And of course, more storage, which is always useful. You can never have enough storage. So yes, very impressed. So even if one of us wants to sleep in one room and one of us wants to sleep in the other room, we both have an athwartship bed on this one catamaran, which is very impressive. As you can see, this is at least a separate shower. You're not showering over your toilet, so that's a good thing. It's not a wet head, as they call it. The amount of space on this 44 is
That's huge.
crazy. And it's a balance, so it's not going to be a sailing.
And it sails well. It's dagger boards. You know about all this Versa Helm?
Yeah, so I saw it on that one, but if you want to show it again,
Well, it's the
because I'll make this a separate episode.
Yeah, it's the same. So
So you got 3 positions, right?
there's the helm in the upper position.
Yeah.
Then all you do is just lift this up here. It's got a middle position, which just gives you more space up there. And then
Yeah.
you down,
I love that.
you down, and then if you stand here and you look through there,
It's great. Love the positioning. And it's good sight lines. Nice. And this drops down to, can you make that into like a day bed sort of thing?
correct, and the salon table as well.
Excellent. And you even have a little like sunbed there too.
It's a little sunbathe, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, next thing is to walk around the outside of the boat and see what the deck layout's like. Well, of course, with a boat show, you're always trying to figure out how do we get up here without getting in somebody's way. Let's go to this side. Look at how nice and wide the decks are. Nope, people there. Let's go back to the other side. Gives you more opportunity to see all the seating because you don't probably even see that there's another couch back here as Janice is walking by it. And we're going to try and go up this side, go by the Versa Helm. And again, you'll see all the lines for everything are run out of the way so you're not tripping on them. Beautiful sight lines from up here. When you're standing up high on the pedestal there, you can see all the corners of the boat. You got like a nice handhold built into the roof line all the way around. Nice tight trampolines and a bunch of hatches for storage for fenders and whatever, sails and whatever. You got your bowsprit for putting out those code zeros and other larger sails. Just a beautiful looking boat too, very sleek. Not a lot of weight, and the boom's nice and low because you don't have that Dodger permanently up there with isinglass around it and all that. So the boom is really low, so you can easily work on it from the coach roof. So yeah, again, the dagger boards, they've got them covered. I've never seen that before, but kind of cool. They've got them covered, and again, the lines for the dagger boards run along the edge so you won't trip on them. Just a really impressive boat. And for all you spec hunters out there that always ask me in the comments, how much does it weigh? What's the beam? What's the draft? What's this? I'm going to throw this on the screen so you can read it for yourself. Needless to say, it's a balance. It's all designed to keep it as light as possible, as much composite as, all the structural areas are carbon fiber. So they keep it as light as possible and still keep it comfortable. So that's a nice, quote, balance. Now, I wasn't able to sail this boat or even the 526 I did in the last episode. Balance, if you're listening, I'm going to be at the Miami Boat Show. If you want to set something up before the show, after the show, for me to get out there, film a test sail, I would love to do it. All I can give you right now is the polars, which should give you a general estimate of how the boat would sail in various wind conditions and wind angles, so check that out. Needless to say, it performs much better than most 44-foot catamarans. Obviously, the longer the water line, the faster the hull speed of the boat, so this will not sail as fast as a 526, obviously, but a 526 is a much, much larger boat, so yeah, it's to be expected. And the last thing we'll look at is the engine room and the space around it. So the spec sheet says it's a 30 horsepower Yanmar, but the agent here said this is a 40 horsepower. So it's a little larger than the standard. I would definitely opt for the larger one. I would also opt for the lithium ion batteries because the spec sheet said gel batteries. And in my mind, that's an old technology. You want to go with the new lithium ion. So there definitely are upgrade options. Well, that is the Balance 442, and needless to say, I am very impressed. What am I impressed about? Love the Versa Helm. That's the number one thing. I want to be able to sit down low in the shade, not in the sun. The sun is not your friend. I don't want to sit in the sun if I can at all avoid it. Clearly, there's times you need to be up high and in the sun when you're changing sails and using the winches, or if you're docking your boat at a dock and you need to see all four corners of your boat, you want to be up high so you get the best vantage point. But every other instance, why wouldn't you sit down low, be in the shade, be in the comfort, be cool? Love it. So anyways, Versa Helm is a big selling feature. 2 athwartship beds on a 44-foot boat is mind-blowing. My wife has told me, don't even try and sell me on a boat where I have to bum scoot out the foot of the bed every time I go to the washroom in the middle of the night. It's just not going to happen. And a happy wife is a happy life. So that eliminates a lot of 44-foot boats because most boats of this length do not have 3-sided beds. And you're having that reputation of balance of building a super solid boat that also is an amazingly good performance sailboat as well. So that means you can sail in light winds and not have to motor from A to B every time the wind is, 8 knots or less. You should still be able to throw up a spinnaker or code 0 or some light wind sail even on light wind days. And this thing should sail really nice, which is going to save you so much money in diesel. So there you go. Now, as for price, this is probably more in my budget range. I think this is around $900 and something thousand. Don't quote me. And again, that might not have every bell and whistle that you want. There's obviously some optional features you could add on there. But even if you added on a couple $100,000 worth of features from the factory, you're up at what, 1.1 million? I could do that. That I could do. So, the 526, as much as it's an aspirational boat for me, that boat was probably over 2 million when you get all the bells and whistles in it. Big difference between 1.1 million and 2 million. I mean, if I had the budget, would I get a 526? Of course I would. But this is definitely in the ballpark of what I could afford. I'd really like to see a 482. It wasn't at the Annapolis show. Maybe it'll be at the Miami show and I'll check it out because it might be the sweet spot between affordable enough and also big enough to feel like a true ocean crossing boat. I still have a little reservation about a 44-foot boat because of the water line. You can't go as fast. Waves will seem bigger when you're in a smaller boat. You'll be going hobby horsing up and down waves a lot more than if you're on a longer boat. It's just physics, right? So it's nothing against balance. It's just that's the downside of having a shorter boat, is you're going to bounce around a lot more. So go for the boat you can afford so you're not strapped, but on the other hand, don't go for the smallest boat if you can afford a mid-size or larger boat. So there you go. So hopefully you enjoyed this walkthrough of the Balance 442. If you did, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's going to be more boat reviews coming in the near future. I think my next one's going to be the exquisite X5 Plus. Now, if you've watched my channel, you know I sailed the X5 from Cape Town, South Africa, all the way across to the South Atlantic to Brazil and up the coast to Grenada, spending about 8 weeks on that boat. So I know that boat really well. But the X5 Plus has new features that weren't on the boat I was on. Plus, they're going to talk about how they've bought a resort in Bahamas to be a service center. So anybody who owns one of those boats can just bring it there and they're going to have the parts and the knowledge and the expertise to fix your boat quickly and efficiently. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. If so, again, subscribe so you don't miss it. Hit that bell notification. And that's it. So until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you safe cruising.